3.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Idiomatic Top 3.
With Nicholas, I am the gaming correspondent for Idiomatic.
And I am Dimitri, editor-in-chief of Idiomatic and movie critic.
All right.
And we're going to talk about game shows today. This is over-under game shows. I'm sure a lot of you listeners are going like, oh, well, all right, I can listen to another podcast then. But like, please, stay on the air. We'll try to come up with good ones. We'll try to. And there's the Electric Boogaloo Factory. Stay. All right, well, let's get started. Like, what, according to you, Nicola, makes a good game show?
Well, that may sound corny, but I like to be able to participate. If I can't participate in the game show, it makes it really boring to me. It's just watching random people doing stuff on TV, boring people doing stuff. So I like to participate in the game show.
When you say participate, you mean like guess the answers?
Guess the answers. Yeah, okay. Guess the answer at the same time. Like for me, like Deal or No Deal, where you like find the suitcase and then that's it. That's not exciting to me. Whereas, you know, something as, you know, simple as The Price is Right, where you can try and guess the prices and, you know, yell at the contestants because they're dumbasses, because there's no way a pool table is going to cost $1,000. You know, that's fun to me.
Yeah, okay. I think that sort of bleeds in with one of my first points regarding a good game show is the challenge level is very important to me. And as you pointed out, it's probably because I like to participate as well. I find that if it's too hard, I sort of disconnect. Like there's a French show called Les Chiffres et des Lettres, like French from France, which loosely translated means letters and numbers.
Yeah.
Where well, it's not that the challenge is hard, but the contestants are so good at it that I never really have time to really solve the puzzle before they're already spitting out their answers, and it frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
I have the same problem with a lot of the Jeopardy questions where some categories where I'm good at, I have a lot of fun, but so many categories I'm not good at because I'm not American, so I don't know American history that well, and there's a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
I kind of get bored, you know?
Really? Well, Jeopardy is a good level for me. There is another, again, French game show like called Translated Question for a Champion. And even questions that don't relate to France, just general questions, like what type of crab is blah blah. I'm like, really? There are different types of crabs? We just call them crabs here. And the questions are insane, and the contestants are really good, and they get them, and they're like, how am I supposed to know all these things? And that really gets me out of it. Whereas, you know, if it's too easy, it gets, you know, really, that's what you're asking. You're giving $20,000 to the contestant for knowing that. That's
yeah,
kind of annoying.
And it's kind of boring because it's sort of like you're not playing either because you sort of hear the question is like it's that get on with it, which is my problem with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where even the later questions, even the $1 million questions, usually it's like it's this. Come on. Like, let's get to it. You know?
Yeah, and it takes so long, and it's like, oh, come on. You know the answer. Just say final answer and just do it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, and when I say Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where I can guess the $1 million question, I mostly mean the syndicated version. The one with Regis. The $1 million question was actually, you know, a challenge.
Yeah. Anything after $64,000 with Regis was pretty tough.
Yeah.
The syndicated one, you're like, that's easy.
Yeah, you can get through the entire questions, and unfortunately, it's really frustrating too because you sort of like, okay, I get this, I got this, and you want to go further, and for some reason, the contestants never get it right.
Yeah,
and you get really frustrated. Yeah, so yeah, challenge level. I'm with you totally. Too hard is a problem, which is what I've mentioned, and as you pointed out, too easy as well is a big problem.
Yeah.
Another one thing, because I just did mention Regis. I find the host is actually important.
Oh yeah, the host. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think not too serious. I think, you know, it should be fun. It's a game, you know. Alex Trebek sort of bugs me.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like, it's really serious all the time, and he looks annoyed when the contestants are not to the level of Jeopardy.
I guess.
And I'm like, come on, dude, it's a game. Like, chill out, you know?
Yeah. He has relaxed throughout the years, though. He was a lot serious. He's gotten a little more.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's better for ratings, I think. So they told him to, you know, just chillax a little bit.
Yeah, and at the same time, not ignorant. I remember. I don't remember which game show it is, but at one point somebody asked like, "What's the most intelligent animal?"
Yeah.
And the guy went, "The dolphin." And the host just laughed at it, going like, okay, whatever, a fish. And I was like, first of all, a dolphin is not a fish. And second, the guy's right. Like, shut up. If you're that ignorant, don't make fun of the contestants, you know?
Technically, humans are the more
that's true.
animals, but if it's excluding humans, yeah, dolphins, that would be a great answer. It's like a fish. That's actually what he replied.
Yeah, and he made fun of the guy. He's like, okay, whatever. Like, I guess you're under pressure. It's like, and made fun of the guy, and then it turned out, of course, that the answer was dolphin. Which, as a viewer participating, I was like, no, he's right. F off. Like, you are so annoying me right now. It's like, if you're gonna be in a trivia game show, like, the last thing you want to do is show off your ignorance. You know? And I think that's why Family Feud is not bad. Like, I think they have the right angle because they always pick comedians to be the host. Like, they had Louis Anderson, and now they have Steve Harvey, I think is the latest version. Yeah. It's like they're comedians, and they're also comedians that are reputed for being moderately smart comedians, you know?
Yeah.
And so, even though Family Feud doesn't require you to be smart, it requires you to be street smart, but not knowledgeable. But it's nice because they know that you're watching the host too, and they keep the thing fun. And
they're witty enough that a contestant gives a completely out there answer. They can make fun of him without basically saying outright you're stupid.
Right.
So yeah, the host is good. Mm-hmm. Also, I like good prizes. It really gets me out of the game show if they play, like in France, they play half an hour for 500 euros, which is like $750. It's ridiculous when one question in Jeopardy gives you as much. It's really, I don't know. I look at that and it's like, all that work for 500 euros, really? Oh, that's horrible.
Well, in today's market, it's not even $750.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm interested in good prize that you'd like to get, and the prize is important to me. If it's not enough, it really takes me out of it. There was like a Quebec version of The Price is Right, where the grand prize was not a car, you win a car, it was you win a car rental. And it's like, wow, that's pretty lame and kind of makes the province look pretty bad if you think about it.
Yeah, well, because we're both in Montreal right now, and we have a French version of Jeopardy, which is hilariously called Jeopardy. But anyway,
yeah,
the prizes are so pathetic. A car rental they're so small. It's like it's a gift certificate to Arby's.
Yeah, I mean, when a contestant wins, I want to be happy for them that they won that, and not just like, oh, gee, a car rental. Why, thank you.
I agree. One of the last things I also find is important in a game show, and that's, I think, probably more personal, but I think the atmosphere is important. I think a light atmosphere is important. I think that's why Family Feud works. I think that's why Price is Right gets an audience. It's light, it's fun, it's exciting. I do not like the melodramatic ones. I think that's where the weakest link went wrong, where it's so like the lights go down. It's like you are the weakest link. Oh, it's like and the way she says it, you think that she's gonna pull a lever and a trap's gonna fall and crocodiles are gonna eat them. Like it's like their lives depends on it. And it's like, oh, shut up! It's a game show. Like, come on, man.
That game show could have gone a lot further if she had, if they had found a wittier host, and a lot better atmosphere. So you can really, not bitch at the contestants, but make fun of them lightly. And okay, you're the weakest link now. Goodbye, and make it fun, not just super serious. And okay, get ready to face the firing squad now that you're gone.
And the music when they're like, there's, I don't remember which game shows, but there are somewhere they go in sudden death, and there's the sudden death music, and you're like, come on, like there's only one place where that sort of music is acceptable, and it's in Inception when they give out exposition.
Yes.
All right, so we might as well get right to it with the overrated game shows.
Okay. The first one is one that has been on maybe for a couple of years. It's called A Minute to Win It, where they basically have contestants do some random stuff, like, blowing ping pong balls and dropping them into cups, or roll marbles on tables until they stick to the end and stuff like that. And basically they go up a pyramid of money, kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And basically the stunts they have to do is that get harder and harder, but it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just watching two guys do stupid stuff on screen for money. It's not even funny. It's just silly, throwing ping pong balls and cups and stuff like that. It's not exciting. It's really lame, and it's so over dramatic for the stuff they do. I mean, seriously, you're trying to stack like 5 dices on a piece of wood you're holding in your mouth, and it's so super dramatic. It's ridiculous, guys. It's just stacking, dice. It's really, really silly.
So it fails 3 of the criteria we've mentioned.
Yeah.
You can't participate because you can't be a jackass next to them.
Yeah.
There's no challenge level, and it's over dramatic. The atmosphere is wrong.
Yeah. And the host, he's like he's pretty much absent. It's just most of the time it's just the contestants hugging, and that's what they focus on. And it's
it's because it's of the reality twist to the game shows now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, reality TV really changed game shows, and not always for the best. Like, I think for American Gladiator, actually, I thought it was a culture that was well adapted to American Gladiator to focus a little bit more on the contestants and all of that.
Yeah.
But for something like what you're talking about, I can imagine where it's like, I'm so glad that you're an everyday hero, mister. I can pop a ping pong in a glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. It's funny because when you explained to me what the show is, because I never watched it, I was sure that must be based on a Japanese game show because it sounds so dumb.
Apparently it's not. American made, man.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna actually my pick for Overrated is actually based on another franchise. It's based on a Swedish franchise, and it's Survivor. I effing hate Survivor. I know it's sort of skating. Is that really a game show? But come on, like there's contestants and they're participating in everything. It's sort of the reality game show.
It's kind of is a game show. We can buy it as a game show.
Yeah. It's funny because the Swedish version has actually an English name. It's called the Robinson Expedition. Of course, a reference to Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
Which the Americans dropped, presumably because not enough Americans read and would recognize Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
Which is sad. I hate that show, man. And that show revolutionized television. It really is. It's the show that brought reality television to our screens and to the networks. And it sucks. It's terrible. It's just jerks being jerks to each other and kicking each other out and being jerks when they get kicked out and being jerks when they're kicking someone out.
Yeah.
You can't participate. There's no challenge level in it really. The host is as big a douche as they are.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the atmosphere is kind of nice because it's tropical.
Yeah, it's tropical. It's nice. You see them, But besides that, I mean, really,
I hate these people, and I hate that there's a game show going there. Like, how much of a jerk can you be, and let us reward that? That bugs me because whoever wins, I'm gonna hate them.
Yeah. My second pick was Are You Smarter Than the Fifth Grader?
Yes.
Initially, the show is kind of fun. The host is kind of fun. He doesn't take things seriously. The 5-year-old kids, they're really cute. They want to answer. Oh, I know the answer. And it's really cute to watch, once in a while. But it's so slow. And the questions are so easy. I don't get why that thing is still on. I mean, come on. It's questions. Are you smarter than a figure? So they're, first grade to 5th grade question.
Yeah, well, they have to be easy question by definition, really.
By definition. So they're really easy. Why they have to stretch it on so much, it is just beyond me.
Yeah, on the participation level, again, as you mentioned, it's really frustrating because if you get it right, you're like, well, yeah, it's a 5th grader question. Blah, boring.
Yeah.
And if you get it wrong, you're so frustrated with yourself. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I got that wrong.
I'll be honest, 5th grade American history are kind of hard for me, being Canadian and not having, studied that. So, okay, I can get, those... I leave myself a little pass there. Okay, I didn't get that one right. It's fine. But I mean, the way they stretch it out so much. I mean, they had Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy champion that won 75 games in a row. Mm-hmm. They had him on the show. He could have answered those 10 questions in like 2 minutes.
No,
but they had to make him. They probably told him, stretch it out. So they made like a 1-hour episode on him answering 10 questions.
Oh my God, that's like 5 minutes per question.
Yeah, I know. And, asking help for the kids, I guess, he could have gotten all the questions right. He just, asked help for the kids to make them feel good and stuff like that. But, oh, man, that was just stretching out again. It's really ridiculous.
Although I will say I like the host.
Yeah, the host is fun.
Yeah, Jeff Foxworthy. He's a great, first of all, he's a great stand-up. His stand-up is hilarious. And he actually masters it really well. Like, he knows how to stretch it in a way that's funny.
Yeah. But eventually it gets on your nerve. Like, all right, come on.
Well, it's because there's nothing else going on. It's sort of like, for me anyway, my feeling whenever I watch this is like, I would rather watch your stand-up at this point because I'm not really getting anything else out of this,
Exactly.
Well, the next pick is actually a pick that we both chose, so it's not my second pick so much as it is our collective pick, and that's Deal or No Deal, which is wow. That I don't get that show. Like, let's talk about the challenge level. It's a lot. There's like, they keep acting like their strategy. The banker's offering me this. It's like, you don't know what's in the briefcase. There's no way for you to know what's in the briefcase. And the bankers is always offering you the middle ground. It's never anything else than the middle ground. So it really is just like yes or no. Like, rock, paper, scissors has more strategy than this.
Yeah. And I mean, all the time, asking every family member, and come on, I mean,
and like, how is that going to help? Like, that's the thing that kills me. It's like, hey, family member, yes, do you know what's in the briefcase? No. Oh, okay, well, F you.
I think the point of the show is Howie Mandel, and he's hilarious.
Oh, he really is.
Once, like you said, Rex Foxworthy, I'd rather watch an hour of your stand-up than watching that show. I mean, he's funny, but I'd rather watch an hour of his stand-up than, watching an hour of him, interacting with some guy that I don't know, trying to figure out what's in the suitcase.
I know, and I mean, when he moved to Canada, Deal or No Deal moved to Canada, and they made a big deal that Howie Mandel was still going to host it, and it was like, and I was like, okay, well, the Canadian networks are getting it. This is for Howie Mandel. It's like, but why are we moving this to Canada? It's like, left or right? Oh, I don't know. And they have the board showing like, the briefcase that are open or not. I was like, oh my god, this is terrible.
And I like the ones they get offered a really high amount by the banker. Mm-hmm. And there's only like one amount left, like $1 million, and it's like, oh, you can get 400,000, or you have to open the briefcase, and it's like, oh no, I'm going to go for one more. And when they open that $1 million suitcase, and okay, your next offer is $20.
Yeah,
that's the only good part of that show. Really, it's like, wow, you were so greedy there. Come on. The only way I can play on that show is like, okay, how much money would be satisfying for me? Would I be happy leaving with like 300,000? So okay, pick the suitcases. The banker offers you that. Okay, I'd stop there. That's the only way I can play that show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of contestants that actually do that, right? They go in with a plan that's like, I'm either getting nothing or this amount, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, every time it's like, oh, 400,000, but I could get $1 million. One more suitcase. Oh, $10.
Oh no, it's a terrible show.
Just watch stand up, and that's all you need.
Yeah, because you don't have to deal with the freaking bankers or the obnoxious contestants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Actually, in the same vein of obnoxious contestants, my official second pick is The Price is Right. Like, that thing has been going on since the original run was 1956, but like then the new show is 1972.
Yeah.
TV Guide has declared it the best game show of all time. Really? The Price is Right?
Yeah. I don't see it as the best game show of all times, honestly.
Again, for me, it's the challenge level. I think what gives it's not, well, first of all, it's not a useful skill in anything,
I don't know. I like knowing the price of stuff,
but all their prices are overinflated anyway, so it doesn't even reflect the real world.
Yeah, that's true. But, they get nice prices. That part I like, they get really nice prices, nice trips and stuff like that. That's the part I like about that show. The host is fun. And
yeah, Bob Barker was awesome.
Yeah. And the atmosphere is really relaxed. I mean, so it's a show I like to watch. It's not the best game show of all times, but it's a fun show. I would rate it a good show. Yeah. Not horrible.
All right. And I guess which means it's time for the Electric Boogaloo Factory. The Electric Boogaloo Factory, for those of you who don't know, is when we take a franchise that doesn't deserve a sequel and try to make a sequel for it. Now, obviously, game shows are not movies. They're not going to have sequels. As a bonus, I might cut this out or not, but I did actually do the reverse, where I actually took one of our overrated, picks. and tried to make a movie with it, and I picked The Price is Right. I think actually The Price is Right would make a great romantic comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, you can't make really a thriller with it because, like, as Casino Royale showed us, the thing with games of luck and whatever is that it's not very suspenseful because you know the writers control what the guy's gonna get. It's like, for those of you who haven't seen Casino Royale, it's awesome James Bond stuff, and then everything grinds to a halt for an hour as him and another guy play the least likely poker game ever put on screen, and then the action starts over again.
Yeah. Watching poker on TV, it's good because you can see the players interact. Watching it in the movie, it's boring. And
also, there's a certain level of sincerity in the sense of you don't know what the cards actually are random. You know?
Yes, exactly.
As opposed to a piece of fiction, it's like, will the hero get a good set of cards or not? I don't know, but has the writer decided? Who cares? It's like...
So yeah, I guess The Price is Right wouldn't work because they'd spill the big wheel and will he get $1? Will he get $1? Oh. Yes, $1!
But I think you should, I think you can do, here's my idea for a romantic comedy, alright? You have, a proud man, let's call him Derek. Derek is a proud man who's good at everything, right? And he's, from high society and all that. And he falls for this sort of trailer trashy type girl who's sort of really humble and, watches daytime soaps and The Price is Right all the time. And it's kind of beneath him. And, but he falls in love with her. But then they have this fight because he's too uppity, because every romantic comedy has to have that moment where they have that big fight and they can go separately and each have their separate montage there.
Yeah.
So, and the fight is because he's too uppity and his friends are snobbish and he's sort of ashamed of her when he's hanging out in his circles. So, she doesn't want to be with him anymore. And then, so the conclusion can be that, he ends up going to The Price is Right with her on television to show that he's not ashamed of being with this, trailer trashy girl. It's sort of like People of Walmart girl. and because he's never really watched Price is Right, not only that, the man who's good at everything, Derek, who's good at everything, is gonna fail miserably too, because he's not even good at Price is Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No? And he goes you went over, and he's like, there's no two over for my girl, And everybody was kind of was it really worth it? You've ruined your reputation. Her snobby mother would be like, you've ruined your reputation and the price. Was it really worth it? And he can turn to her and go, The Price is Right.
Wow.
Huh?
That is awesome.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm a showcase double winner.
Well, I suppose that's enough nonsense for today.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so if you have any comments, want to share some of your overrated game shows with us, or just write us to say that you didn't listen to the podcast as soon as you heard the topic, you can write us at mail@idiomanic.com or post a comment right below the episode at idiomanic.com.
Yep. See you next week.
It's sort of you're not playing either because you sort of hear the question is it's that, get on with it, which is my problem with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where even the later questions, even the $1 million questions, usually it's this, come on, let's get to it.
Yeah, and it takes so long, and it's oh, come on, you know the answer, just say final answer and just do it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. And when I say Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where I can guess the $1 million question, I mostly mean the syndicated version. The one with Regis. The $1 million question was actually, a challenge.
Yeah. Anything after $64,000 with Regis was pretty tough.
Yeah.
The syndicated one, you're that's easy.
Yeah. You can get through the entire questions. I'm not American, so I don't know American history that well, and there's a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
I kind of get bored,
Really? Well, Jeopardy is a good level for me. There is another, French game show called Translated Question for a Champion. And even questions that don't relate to France, just general questions, what type of crab is blah blah? I'm like, really? There are different types of crabs? We just call them crabs here. And the questions are insane, and the contestants are really good, and they get them, and they're like, how am I supposed to know all these things? And that really gets me out of it. Whereas if it's too easy, it gets, really, that's what you're asking. You're giving $20,000 to the contestant for knowing that. That's
Yeah,
kind of annoying.
and it's kind of boring. It sort of bleeds in with one of my first points regarding a good game show is the challenge level is very important to me, and as you pointed out, it's probably because I like to participate as well. I find that if it's too hard, I sort of disconnect. Like there's a French show called Les Chiffres et les Lettres, like French from France, which loosely translated means letters and numbers.
Yeah.
Where it's not that the challenge is hard, but the contestants are so good at it that I never really have time to really solve the puzzle before they're already spitting out their answers, and it frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
I have the same problem with a lot of the Jeopardy questions, where some categories where I'm good at, I have a lot of fun, but so many categories I'm not good at. Because I'm starting, like, what, according to you, Nicola, makes a good game show?
Well, that may sound corny, but I like to be able to participate. If I can't participate in the game show, it makes it really boring to me. It's just watching random people doing stuff on TV, boring people doing stuff. So I like to participate in the game show.
When you say participate, you mean like guess the answers?
Guess the answers. Yeah, guess the answer at the same time. Like for me, like Deal or No Deal, where you like find the suitcase and then that's it. That's not exciting to me. Whereas, something as, simple as The Price is Right, where you can try and guess the prices and, yell at the contestants because they're dumbasses, because there's no way a pool table is going to cost $1,000. That's fun to me.
Yeah, okay. I think that's
2, 3.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Idiomatic Top 3!
With Nicholas, I am the gaming correspondent for Idiomatic.
And I am Dimitri, editor-in-chief of Idiomatic and movie critic.
Alright.
And we're going to talk about game shows today. This is Over-Under Game Shows. I'm sure a lot of you listeners are going like, oh, well, alright, I can listen to another podcast then. But like, please, stay on the air! We'll try to come up with good ones. We'll try to. And there's the Electric Boogaloo Factory. Stay! Alright, well, let's get